My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to Sassy Seer Sheila and New Light Streaming Love, as this will be seen on both channels, which for some reason I'm give to also say if you are not subscribed on both channels, I highly recommend that you do so, as once things start happening, there are some things that will be seen on one channel that are not seen on the other. And you may want to be subscribed in both places. Like if you ever want to participate in any lives, I do those mostly on Sassy Seer Sheila. And so that way you would not be notified of the live if you are only subscribed to New Light Streaming Love, and vice versa. Okay, so this is the 38th in the RZN Codex series, and it is The Rise of the Resonant Architects by Jason Gray. The original transmission date, 12/10/2025. For those, no, quote, those who learn to build with the planet's memory instead of with matter, close quote. ARC-01 resonance / the architects of the returned world. What is a resonant architect? A resonant architect is not born. They are recognized. The term refers to a tri-species role that emerges naturally after the subsurface libraries open. Their purpose is simple but profound: to build the new world using the memory of the old one. Not by copying the past, not by reviving ancient civilizations, not by engineering structures. Resonant architects work with coherence fields, memory currents, emotional geometry, harmonic architecture, planetary cognition, grid resonance, zero-fold patterns, and species-aligned spatial logic. They build realities that align with the planetary mind rather than oppose it. This makes them the first generation of humans who no longer, quote, use the planet, they co-create with it. Now, this is very interesting to me. Again, puzzle pieces. My housemate Lisa told me several years ago that she will know the when and where we were to settle because the land would communicate that it was for us, which is exactly what this is sounding like. The co-creating with the planet rather than using its resources. How a resonant architect is identified. The architects are not chosen by councils. They are not elected. They do not volunteer. They emerge because they are the ones who hear the libraries before they open. Feel the grid before it activates. Sense structures instead of imagining them. Know what should exist without designing it. Hold multiple truths without collapse. Can walk into an empty space and feel what belongs there. Most importantly, equilibrium does not frighten them. The ordinary mind seeks stability. The architect seeks resonance. Stability is a habit. Resonance is a choice. This is why the architects rise now, because the planet finally allows those who can hear it to answer. The first awakening of the architects, ARC-EVT.01, the deep pulse. 43 hours after the subsurface libraries opened, a new signal began moving through the grid. A slow, rhythmic pulse, like the heartbeat of a world remembering its purpose. Those who would become architects were the first to perceive it. Now, this is very interesting to me because yesterday, I just told this to Lisa this morning. Yesterday or the day before, I don't remember which, things are starting to blend. I was having a visual anomaly in my vision behind my closed eyes. It was as though I were seeing a pulse that would just behind my closed eyes only. And it was a very rhythmic thing. It had a timing to it, it felt. And it just felt like a visual and like something rippling through the field, if that makes any sense to you. And a lot of us would write things like that off and say, oh, you're just having something in your vision, da 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 da. You're making something of it. No, not anymore. Not for me. I recognize these things as possibilities. And that is actually what the last one I just read about the zero unfolding from center is about, if you ask me. The ability to hold that, hey, it might be something else. So, 43 hours after the subsurface libraries opened, a new signal began moving through the grid. A slow, rhythmic pulse like the heartbeat of a world remembering its purpose. Those who would become architects were the first to perceive it. They felt pressure in the chest, warmth behind the rib cage, geometric forms rising in the mind, a desire to stand on bare earth, an awareness of structural emptiness, and the sensation of, quote, blueprints unfolding inside them. Very interesting. And I want to say this right now, too. If you have had anything like this, please reach out to me. Let's meet in Zoom. I would love to chat about your experience. This was the planet sending its first set of instructions, not as commands, as partnerships, what the architects actually build. A resonant architect does not build buildings. Matter is the least concern. Matter is their least concern. They build structures in consciousness, spaces where memory can stabilize and species can evolve without collapse. Oh, wow. Is that what I was shown? That's very interesting. When you hold something one way And then you hear something like this, and oh, so that could be what that's about. They build structures in consciousness, spaces where memory can stabilize and species can evolve without collapse. They build structures. No, I just read that. Emotion, harmonic fields that allow humans to feel fully without being overwhelmed. Land, not structures placed on it, but spatial patterns that make physical structures unnecessary. Species communication, shared resonance channels for luminous, aeonus, infinitas, and humans to interact seamlessly. Planetary cognition, architectural patterns that allow Earth's mind to distribute memory evenly. Zero-fold compression, translation systems that convert infinite possibility into usable form without losing its essence. Post-emergence civilization, the world that comes next. They are the engineers of coherence, the builders of what cannot be built with hands. The three foundational disciplines of resonant architecture: harmonic alignment, learning to tune a structure, physical or psychological, so it vibrates in sync with the planetary mind. Memory integration, drawing from the subsurface libraries to create environments that trigger evolutionary memory in those who enter. Zero-fold threading, threading a space with a controlled amount of possibility, so it adapts to those who move through it. This is the most difficult discipline. It is also the most dangerous. Too much zero-fold and the structure dissolves into infinite potential. Too little and the structure becomes lifeless and inert. The architect must know balance, not by calculation, but by instinct. The first structures built by resonant architects. The earliest architect produced environments were not monumental halls or advanced cities. They were small, subtle, often unnoticed by ordinary minds, emotionally resonant paths, harmonic gardens, stillness chambers, memory wells, dream convergence fields, thought calming groves, and silence amphitheaters. These were training structures for the species. Planet was teaching humanity how to inhabit a coherent world again. The first great work, the Trilinear Sanctum, ARC-WRK.01. The very first major architect creation was the Trilinear Sanctum, a structure built in 3 layers. Layer 1, physical ground, a circular depression in the earth surrounded by standing stones that were never carved but grown. Layer 2, emotional field, a resonance chamber where fear and expectation dissolve instantly. Layer 3, zero-fold thread, a thin beam of infinite potential running vertically through the center activated only when three species stand in equal presence. This was the first space where the tri-species reality became tangible. It was the proto-blueprint for the future civilization. Why the architects are necessary. After the collapse of the overlay, the world becomes open terrain, not empty, but undefined. Without the architects, humanity would default to building the old world again. Hierarchy, ownership, extraction, division, conquest, scarcity, illinear time, and separation. The architects prevent this by guiding the species towards structures aligned with coherence. They are the map makers for a world that no longer has maps. The architects' relation to the subsurface libraries. Architects do not, quote, read the libraries, they listen. The libraries communicate through emotional shifts, memory currents, geometric intuition, felt instructions, sudden clarity, and harmonic attraction. An architect does not, quote, decide what to build. The planet decides. The architect simply understands. The end of this chapter is the beginning of the next era. The rise of the resonant architects marks the transition from integration to construction. Memory is no longer the goal. Mastery is. Understanding is no longer the goal. Creation is. Humanity is no longer rediscovering the old world. Humanity is beginning to build the new one, and the architects are the hands of the planet in the era that follows. Jason Gray. In many ways, I feel as though, and most especially those that can take this in and see Jason's work as a very real possibility of the truth of things. It is going to be, in my estimation, these beings who feel this as truth reside in this first little bit. In many ways, I feel that. And how that'll all, pan out, who knows? But it feels to me as though at least some of what is being reported on through this way is beginning to show itself in some ways, to me. So what do you think? Hit me up, consciousconversationcentral@gmail.com. Use the comment section below. Keep in mind, I have it set so that all comments are held until I get a chance to see them and read them, because I want to be sure and read every comment. That's how that works. That's the only way I could find to make sure that I could see them all. So until we meet again, my friends, be well.